mourning tonight after the loss of beloved chef Leah Chase. She was 96 years old. Good evening to you. I'm Paul Dudley. We'll be back in studio in just a little bit, but it was here at Leah Chase's restaurant that she helped create change in New Orleans. Chase used to say, if you can eat with someone, you can learn from them. And I think it's safe to say we've all learned a lot from Miss Leah. Sheba Turk begins our coverage with a tribute to a woman who has inspired so many.
Leah Chase was known all over the world as the queen of Creole cuisine, and this was her palace, Dookie Chase Restaurant in Treme. The beloved chef reigned over the kitchen of this Orleans Avenue landmark for more than 70 years. And even well past the age of 90, there was no place she would rather be than in this kitchen.
If I wouldn't come in this kitchen every day, I think I would be miserable, and I would be miserable. And my children can't, why not you stay home? Nope. I don't want to stay home. I want to do what I do.
Miss Leah, as nearly everyone called her, was known for telling it like it is. And what a story she had to tell. She was born on 12th night, 1923 in Madisonville. Young Leah Lang was one of 11 children. She came to New Orleans to attend Catholic school, St. Mary's Academy. Her early jobs included working as a waitress in the French Quarter, but little did she know food would be her calling. In 1946, she met and married Edgar Dookie Chase Jr., a musician whose parents had opened a small sandwich shop. Soon, Leah started working in the family business and turned Dookie Chase's into a fine dining restaurant for African Americans, which was unheard of at the time. During the 1950s and 60s, it provided a safe haven for civil rights activists, from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Thurgood Marshall to the Freedom Riders.
I fed them gumbo and fried chicken, and they met here, and we gave them space to meet. They met here. Nobody ever bothered them in here. Once they hid inside of this door, nobody was going to come in. Never, ever did a policeman come inside of this restaurant. Never.
Later, 2 U.S. presidents would dine at Dookie Chase, George W. Bush and Barack Obama. She called President Bush very kind and said President Obama was brilliant, except for one thing.
So I gave him the gumbo. First thing he does, takes the hot sauce in the Mr. Obama, you don't put hot stuff in my gumbo. You don't do that. So I had to reprimand him.
Leah Chase's cookbooks and TV appearances spread Creole cuisine worldwide. Ray Charles even sang about her restaurant in one of his songs.
I went to Dookie Chase to get something to eat. The way you looked at me and said, Ray, you sure look me now.
Even Disney took notice of Leah Chase's star power. The studio's first animated African-American princess, Princess Tiana, was inspired by her incredible life. In 2005, Dookie Chase is filled with 5 feet of floodwater from Hurricane Katrina's levee failures. Volunteers and friends helped the Chase family reopen 2 years later. And both Leah and Dookie Chase kept cooking and hosting customers at the restaurant well into their 80s and 90s. In 2016, some of the food world's biggest stars stood and applauded when Leah Chase earned a Lifetime Achievement Award from the James Beard Foundation. Her acceptance speech was pure Leah Chase.
I tell you, Madisonville, just look at me now. Long ways from a strawberry patch. This gives me courage to keep going for about 10, 12 more years. So I'll be in that kitchen for that. I'll leave.
Other well-known chefs reacted to Chase's death as soon as the news broke last night. Emeril Lagasse posted this photo to Instagram saying he hopes her friends and family find comfort in knowing how many lives Chase touched. And Bizarre Foods television host Andrew Zimmern says he was blessed to have been a recipient of her wisdom. And as Duke Carter and photojournalist Rickniece Riggins tell us, many hope that wisdom, along with her recipes, continue to be passed on to the next generation.
It's a hard day because it's like family.
Leah Chase was one of the people who blazed a trail for all that came after her.
If you paid attention, you could learn so much from her.
Chase was such an icon in this city, and people really just don't realize the impact she had on so many families.
Which is why chefs, professional writers, and even restaurateurs are shocked and devastated that Leah Chase has passed away.
Miss Leah is someone that the entire community cares about.
For many, she was warm and open, an inviting face into her restaurant as well as her kitchen.
I've been going there from a kid, so I got to meet Miss Leah as a child.
Chef Kevin Belton would frequent her restaurant as a child, and when he got into the profession, Chef Kevin was glad to be able to cook for one of his icons. He learned so many lessons from her in the kitchen, and there is one in particular he remembers learning outside of the kitchen.
About life and about how to treat people than she did about food. Because anybody can cook, but it's how you treat people the rest of the time. And for somebody like her to tell me, I'm so proud of you, I'm so proud of all you accomplish. I felt like that 4-year-old kid that I went from when I first remember her.
Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around.
She was truly a leader in a time when it really mattered. Change was everywhere and was difficult and was vexing, and she was this anchor and a light at the same time.
Eventually, change did come, and the restaurant is now part of civil rights history in New Orleans, as well as the nation.
She is truly one of the ambassadors, not just of New Orleans food, of New Orleans flavors, but of New Orleans spirit, of the hope of New Orleans, of the goodness of the people.
It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come.
Leah Chase inspired so many people in the city of New Orleans, including future restaurateurs.
Remember going run to purchase one of her cookbooks and Still I Cook?
Alvin McGillis owns McCarty's Chicken and Fixin' and views Chase as her mentor. McGillis tells us Leah Chase made anyone feel comfortable in her restaurant.
Every significant award we've received, she made certain that someone that she told you, I'm proud, you go get it. She was the mentor.
A mentor with life lessons that now will be passed on to future chefs.
It's my responsibility as a chef, as a man, as a person in this industry, to look out for other chefs who are coming up. Male, female, doesn't matter, religion doesn't matter, the race doesn't matter, the whatever. I have a responsibility from those folks that taught me to help lift those up.
In New Orleans, Duke Carter, Eyewitness News.
Other leaders took to Twitter to honor Chase. Mayor LaToya Cantrell called Miss Leah a legend and an inspiration. Former Mayor Mitch Landrieu said the Queen of Creole cuisine, quote, fed our collective souls with her wisdom, humor, and faith. And she also fed many civil rights leaders and gave them a place where they could feel safe. Erica Ferrando explains why Leah Chase is a civil rights icon.
Leah Chase was my friend.
She is a national treasure.
She was like a fairy godmother.
Maybe it was the homemade Creole cooking, the welcoming spirit, or the feeling of safety. But during a time when whites and blacks couldn't be seen together, Leah Chase created a space where everyone had a seat at the table.
And the law in Louisiana was that blacks and whites could not meet together, and certainly not eat together.
Chase didn't care. Her friends say she would make her own rules as long as it was the right thing to do. She shared her passion of cooking with anyone. That's why her restaurant, Dookie Chase, became a safe haven for blacks and whites to meet during the civil rights movement.
Now, she was breaking the law, but, you know, they had to eat somewhere, and she took the chance.
Sybil Morial was a longtime friend of Chase. Dookie's was a frequent date spot with her late husband, Ernest Dutch Morial, who was the first black mayor of New Orleans. She recalls stories of civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and the team of black and white attorneys who ended segregation in public schools with Brown v. Board of Education, all meeting at Dookie's in a private room upstairs.
I don't know if, you know, law enforcement knew, or if they ignored it, or if maybe privately they supported it.
She gave people who were in that movement a safe haven and also fed them.
Clerk of First City Court Austin Badon is close with the Chase family.
Her role in the civil rights movement should not be underestimated.
Because in the 50s and 60s, that warm meal together was a big deal for civil rights activists.
feel secure and also to, have a good hot meal.
Even years later, Chase created a place for Black artists. In a time where museums wouldn't accept work from an African-American artist, Chase gave them a space.
She liked our art and she wanted to show it, and she had the wall space to show it.
Clifton Webb is one of the many artists whose work is inside Dookies.
After a while, we could say, where can you go to see Black art? And you could say you go to Dookie Chase.
She just did it. She did it because it was the right thing to do.
She lived by the motto that her father actually taught her, and that was to work, pray, and to take care of others.
A lifetime of working, praying, and taking care of others. That's what Leah Chase did, and that's what she'll be remembered for. Erica Ferrando, Eyewitness News.
And we've been gathering tributes to Miss Leah on our website, WWLTV.com. And tomorrow, the Eyewitness Morning News will be talking to many others who knew and loved her. Stay tuned here on Channel 4. We will be right back with more news after the break.